Okay, so hey you guys, welcome back for another video. I feel like my face makes this announcement before I ever get a chance to tell people. Um, so I'm pregnant. I am currently in my third trimester, and I wanted to record videos the same way I did with my daughter, just to have for memories and everything like that. But next thing I know, I'm in the third trimester. So it's just like, I feel like time just really got away from me this time. And work did not help with anything. So at this moment, I am not working right now, but I don't know if I'm going to get into that on another video. I don't know, because it's a little messy, but at the moment I'm not working, but my husband works, so we're fine. And I've actually been enjoying this time off. Like, I have not worked since the end of June, so really let's just say July, and it is October right now. We are still in the middle of this pandemic, and I'm fine in my house. I'm okay. So hopefully all of you guys are okay and safe as well, and your loved ones and everything. So yes, I am pregnant. This is my third pregnancy journey. I have recorded a video about my first pregnancy journey. And unfortunately that pregnancy ended in a second trimester loss. And then I also recorded, I think, monthly videos with my daughter, and she will be 2 in December. I am due in December. So I'm supposed to have a scheduled C-section and hopefully be home by my birthday, which is the day before her birthday, which is just crazy. So let me just get right into this video. I have notes that I've been taking. I just hadn't gotten a chance to record. So this video is really going to be about my first trimester and my second trimester. And currently I'm taking notes on my third trimester, and I plan to record that video towards I guess like the first week of December, and then just have that in the queue ready to go for you guys, because I probably won't be able or feel like recording anything after December, I'm pretty sure. So let's just take it all the way back, and I have my little notes here on my laptop. Okay, so I found out super early that I was pregnant. When I say super early, and I feel like I found out super early with my daughter too. Like, it was crazy. So I was at work, and the thing is, due to the virus and everything, we've been having to do the temperature checks. So every morning, do the temp check. I'm usually like 90 something, whatever. So if at the time, if it was anything over 100, you got to go home, point blank, period. So this was in March, the end of March, I believe, and randomly got 100 temp. I'm like, what? Me? No, not me. So I thought that it might have been from me running around, or what, I don't know, the heat on in the car, I don't know. So I went home, but my daughter was already at my mom's. So I'm like, well, it's no point in me picking her up. Let me just go home and relax. So I go home, and I'm like, oh, let me take a pregnancy test. I said, oh, no, I'm not pregnant, but let me just take a test. Child. So I took the test, and I was pregnant. So I'm like, ooh, uh-oh. So then, of course, do the thing everybody else does. You take another one, because clearly one test does not mean anything. Clearly. So then I took like 3 more tests. I took like 3 more tests and I'm just like, ooh, oh, I'm pregnant. Like for real. So, and I mean, with this pregnancy, like we were not trying at all, not preventing. So of course, if you're not preventing, then you're trying. But this was not nowhere at all planned at all. I would say with my daughter, it was more in the back of our minds, like, oh, eventually, like we wouldn't be mad, da da da. Because we had lost the baby before that, so it was kind of like, oh, whatever. But this time, I was just like, ooh, I don't even know when this happened, cause I could have swore I didn't even like him in March. He was just, you know how it is. Your spouse just gets on your nerves and this and that. I'm like, March? When? When was that? Like that thing must have been swimming. But either way, so yeah, that's how I found out. And telling him was just hilarious because I showed him text messages from what I told my sister-in-law with my daughter, because she wanted me to be in her wedding and I said I couldn't because of travel time and her wedding was later in the year. So he was looking and he's just like, is this from her or what? I said no. I said just read it slowly. He was like, you pregnant? He was like, I need to sit down. I said, you are sitting down. So that was just the whole, that was just craziness. So that's how I found out. That's how I told my husband. And of course, like, you tell family later on. Like, I ended up telling family and friends that hadn't already guessed around Mother's Day. So in May. So yeah, that's the beginning of that. And then the gender is still unknown. I decided that I did not want to find out the gender of the baby. My husband's fine with that. Everyone is assuming it's a boy because they're saying that I'm carrying differently from when I carried with my daughter. To me, I really can't tell the difference, to be quite honest. I don't know how some people like, ooh, this is like this and this is like that, high, low, appetite. I feel like because there's so much going on with the world, it's hard to determine what exactly is a pregnancy symptom and what is just because things are just crazy right now. So yeah, I have no idea. With my daughter, I felt that it was a girl. Right now, I don't feel. I just feel the baby. I have no idea about gender. So as you guys know, with my daughter, I did, due to having a second trimester loss, which was at 20 weeks with my son, with my daughter, which was the previous pregnancy before this one, I had to have an emergency cerclage placed around between 20 and 21 weeks because my cervix was beginning to shorten. So this time around, they told me at the very first appointment, they're like, look, these are the options. You either wait it out and we check you every so often, like just like every 2 weeks or so, to make sure that your cervix isn't shortening, which would have started after 14 weeks because they usually like for you to get at least close to the second trimester before they start doing anything. Because typically any losses that occur before the second trimester are due to a chromosome type issue. So that's how they scale that. So my options were to wait until my cervix began to shorten, or I could just have it placed at exactly 14 weeks. With 14? Yeah, exactly 14 weeks as a preventative cerclage. So of course I'm like, hey, stitch me up, because I had no reason not to feel comfortable with having a cerclage placed. I had one placed at 20 weeks with my daughter, and she is just as crazy as any other kid. She is wild, and she's healthy, perfectly healthy baby. She came out 7 pounds 1 ounce, and just amazing. She's not here right now. She's with my mom, and that's why it's so quiet. But she's an angel. So that's what we did. I did discuss it with my husband, but of course he you know, felt as though it was a decision for me to make, and was okay with me deciding to do that at 14 weeks. So the experience of getting a cerclage, I'm gonna try and like make it short, but basically it's definitely an all day thing. The procedure itself takes about like 45 minutes, but it's just the prep and the recovery that takes a very long time. So for me, the nurse that was actually, one of the nurses that was there when I got it done with my daughter was actually the same nurse that was at the hospital when I got it done this time. So she said that she remembered me having a hard time in recovery, and that it took me a long time because you have to be able to pee before you can leave, or they would like for you to pee before you leave. So I ended up staying in there 6 hours in recovery, and I wasn't able to pee. They had to put a catheter in me twice to drain all the urine out, and then once I got home, I was able to pee. So there was no issues with that, thank goodness. So I have no office appointments. Okay, so I didn't have any office appointments aside from that first one. I was only seeing the MFM, which is maternal fetal medicine specialist. And I was seeing them every 2 weeks. And the visits for my regular OB appointments, those were all over the phone. So those were going well. And for, oh man, this is crazy. For the in-office visits with the specialist and with the regular OB, once you get to that point, due to everything that's going on in the world right now, you have to go by yourself. Like the person that's with you, you can either wait in the parking lot of the area, but they do not want anyone else to accompany you in the hospital. So I've been going to all of my appointments by myself, which is just so crazy because my husband went to every single appointment, either my husband or my mom. Literally every single appointment with my daughter. So right now it's kind of like, I'm in the hospital by myself again. But I definitely call him after the appointments and give him the full rundown about everything that happened, whether it's a long visit or a short visit. And I still got like a bunch of ultrasounds and everything. All the ultrasound pictures, I'll add them at the end of the video. I forgot to grab those. So yeah, then that's what's been going on with that. You are allowed to FaceTime during your ultrasounds now. Which was a thing before where like you couldn't use the phones at all, but I guess they're just trying to be understanding to the fact that you're there by yourself. So you can use phones during that. My 20-week scan was the regular anatomy scan. Everything was great. Baby was very active. No complaints at all during that. And as I told you guys, still don't know the gender. What else do I have? Oh, this was weird. So typically there's like 6 or 7 OBs at my office, and for some odd reason I was scheduled with the midwife. Nothing against midwives, I just don't, that's just not my preference. So the midwife that I saw that day, this was around 20, somewhere between 20, 22 weeks, something like that. She said that I was measuring ahead. The MFM and the OB said that I was fine. She went and had me scheduled for all this testing. The OB said that I never needed those tests because certain ones you don't really need if you just had a baby. But it just seemed like she was just giving me the ringer, and it was all unnecessary. She had a hard time finding the heartbeat of the baby, which was also strange. And then she asked for some additional labs that I had recently done. So I don't know what the issue was. And I just made sure that moving forward, all of my appointments were scheduled with one of the 7 OBs that are already in that office, because I just don't understand why, if they're going to throw midwives into the loop of who's seeing the patients, why they either don't have access to our files, or why this particular person did not take it upon herself to review my information before she came in and saw me. So, I mean, it is what it is. I just took it as what it was, and I said, do not schedule me with her anymore. And when I went to the checkout desk, I let them know, please do not schedule me with any midwives. So then the receptionist said, well, who do you want to be scheduled with? And I said, any of the OBs. Thank you. So we're fine with that. I had another ultrasound at 25 weeks, and they checked my cervix. It was still closed, and that's when they decided that I would not be a candidate for progesterone suppositories. That's something else that I had with my daughter. After I got the cerclage placed at 20 weeks, I also was on the progesterone nightly suppositories. So this time around, they decided that I could just wait and see, since I got the cerclage placed early, if I would need to have the suppository as well. And thank goodness I do not need both, because, whew, y'all, them things, you gotta, like, first of all, it's like a mixed powder, and you have to get it from a special pharmacy. I think they deliver, but the price was just ridiculous. So I had to go pick up that. Insurance didn't cover it. You could get like monthly doses, and it had to stay in the fridge, and then you just had to pop it up there. I'm happy that I do not have to do the nightly suppositories. Let me tell you. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. And then, yeah, so I stopped breastfeeding my daughter. As you guys know, she will be 2 in December. I am due in December. My birthday's also in December, so that's pretty cool. So I stopped breastfeeding her around June, July-ish this summer basically. So I breastfed her for a little over a year and a half, or just at a year and a half, and she did very good transitioning off. She would like tap me a little bit, like, hey, and I'm like, girl, you big, you alright. And she'd be like, ha ha ha. So she's fine. Like, it wasn't like really bad or anything. Hopefully with this pregnancy, I will nurse for at least a year, and we'll just see how that goes. If not, then that's okay too, because I definitely got the experience already, and it is wonderful. So I would prefer to nurse, but we'll just see how it goes. And then the last thing that I'm going to cover in this video is my glucose test, because the 3rd trimester starts, I believe, 28 weeks, something like that. So at 27 weeks, I got my glucose test done, and that's the one where you guys drink the little orange drink, or whatever color they have. It looks like Gatorade. And then you have to wait for an hour, and then they do your blood work. If you fail the glucose test, then I believe you have to schedule for like a 3-hour test or something like that. But I passed my glucose test with all of my pregnancies. I really don't have an issue with that. And this time it wasn't any different. Like, some people, they faint, and or like they'll throw up from it, and I'm not sure if that's because they're eating before it or not. But I typically try to have my glucose test done in the morning. Like, our lab centers, they open at like 7:30, so I try to get up, not eat anything, maybe just have a little bit of water, but I don't eat anything, and then I go and have the test done. And then I haven't had any issues with like being nauseous or anything like that. Like, my tests are usually cool. So I believe that is it for my 1st and 2nd trimester updates. I'm not sure if you guys already know because my nose tells, like I said, my face tells everything before I get to announce. But so you may have seen it or noticed it in my hair video that I uploaded recently. So if you did and you already guessed, yeah. If not, I'm pregnant, yes. And I just feel like this pregnancy is kind of gonna die fast. I don't know. So I will show you guys my belly right now, and I will get the ultrasound pictures that I have, my most recent one, or I'll throw it because I'm pretty sure I took a picture of it. Yes, I'll add it in probably like in a slide or something because I'm pretty sure I took a picture of it to send it out to people like, oh, look at this baby. So here is my belly, and I will do one video that'll be separate from this one because this is like 20 minutes. So my next video will just be my my next pregnancy update will just be my 3rd trimester update, and yeah, I will give you guys some information about what we're gonna do and any new information that I got from the hospital. So here you guys go. I always feel like I'm like flashing the camera when I do this, but here is my belly at I guess at the beginning of, well, technically this is a 30-week belly right here. Yeah, this is a 30-weeker. And I'm just recording these videos late. But this is what we have here. And I'm feeling pretty good, you guys. Feeling pretty good. My belly button usually does not pop out. So I'm not expecting for that to happen. But it does get like, it comes out a little bit, but it doesn't completely flip out. And these things right here, this is just keloids from my belly button ring. So that is my belly shot. And if you guys have any questions, leave those down below. If you have any comments, leave those down below. And I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.